let's move on to the AFC East team needs. We'll start with the division winner, New England Patriots.
Thoughts? What do they need? What do they need to do in the draft?
What jumps out at me is with the injury history of Rob Gronkowski and their wide receiving core, which is made up of Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman's been re-signed, and they added, not Kimbrel Tompkins, they've got him, but
game breakers.
Brandon LaFell. And with them loving two tight end sets and Gronkowski's injury history, I want to see a playmaker, a pass catcher, a big tight end, or an outside wide receiver.
Yeah, New England perennially searching for running backs, wide receivers, tight ends that can become sort of bedrocks of that offense.
Yeah, and I just think that there's not enough of a playmaker there after Rob Gronkowski, and I just don't know, are you going to get more than 10 or 12 games out of him in any given season?
On Gronk, no.
Other than that, I think I'd like to really see them improve their interior offensive line. They re-signed Ryan Wendell despite him having a lousy 2013 at center.
Can't play the Colts every week, by the way. Interior offensive line.
And at right guard, Dan Connolly is not the guy that you want starting games for you. So, and other than that, they've got a hole at strong safety next to Devin McCourty. Question marks.
So if like a Zach Martin or if like a Xavier Su'a-Filo fall, that'd be a huge get for them.
Yes, definitely that. Moving on to the New York Jets.
Too much talent!
Yeah, you know.
Where do they need help?
It's kind of a lot of places, but I would draw. What jumps out to me is offensive guard. They signed Willie Colon to a one-year stopgap sort of deal. That's fine for a year, but you also need to upgrade the other spot of O'Brien Winters, who like Jets fans love to hate. So really, either guard spot, they need a long-term solution.
If you can't evaluate running backs and receivers year in and year out, at least get an offensive line in there.
Speaking of receivers, this is a team that had the least talented wide receivers in the NFL, really for the last couple years. Stephen Hill was maybe the worst starting wide receiver in the NFL last year.
If not for Jeremy Curley.
And they, of course, they've signed Eric Decker for too much money, but you can't ask Decker to do it all himself.
I like Decker, but no, he's not going to be able to do it all. He's going to get double teamed.
Yeah, so another wide receiver, a playmaker would be, you don't know if Geno Smith, same thing with Mark Sanchez, is like, how do you know if this guy's even a competent quarterback without giving him wide receivers?
I like that everybody argues about, oh, this guy's going too high, this guy's going too low. What should this team go after? But everybody's like, Jets, wide receiver. No, that's exactly what is needed.
And of course, Antonio Cromartie was a cap casualty. D. Milner didn't develop quite the way they wanted to last year.
He's got time though.
I'd look to the secondary too as kind of like a tertiary.
If they can get some value there, absolutely. The Miami Dolphins of Miami.
Well, let's see, what were they in the headlines for last year? Yeah, they need to rebuild that offensive line, and they've started by signing Brandon Albert, left tackle. That's great. They've signed Jason Fox to be the presumptive right tackle, and at center you've got Mike Pouncey with some question marks. Like, will he suffer some fallout from?
What is his future consideration?
And that leaves two holes on either side of Pouncey, and maybe Pouncey and center itself. So yeah, the interior line, you want to see them draft at least a guard or two.
Clear quarterback of the future. A good stable of running backs. Fortify that offensive line.
Yeah, and after that, they want to look to cornerback. Brent Grimes has got one side of it nailed down. They lost their second and third cornerbacks from 2013. They signed Cortland Finnegan, but he's 30 years old. He spent much of last year injured. His drop-off in performance has been pretty remarkable. You want someone to at least compete with him, I think.
Here's the great news. Buffalo and the Jets are in the division. So quarterback, hey, 4th, 5th, 6th round, whatever you got.
The Bills, man. So
that's actually their slogan this year on shirts. Oh man, Bills.
I got a page of text with Bills needs.
Oh gosh.
They've got some building blocks on defense that I like.
Their defense is actually very good.
Yes.
I like their defense.
At right tackle. So let's look to the offense.
Yeah.
At right tackle, they've got a huge hole. Was at left guard, but they've got a good signing with Chris Williams there. Weak link is right tackle.
Yeah.
Get a young tackle. You don't have to spend a first rounder on him even. They need to fill that in the draft.
It is a nicely deep tackle draft. It's not the craziest one, but it's nice.
And of course, when we talk about their excellent young defense, they lost Jarris Byrd.
They did.
You need to fill.
You don't just replace Oregon Ducks.
You need to replace an all-pro safety with a quality starting safety. So that would be my biggest notes for the Bills. I think they could be.
Bills are closer than I think a lot of people think.
Could be a team on the rise. They still need to draft well.
Yes, that's big.
That is your AFC East team needs, and that is another edition of Future Consideration. Once again, Dan Rubenstein, your college football master.
Matt Ufford, your NFL guy.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.